kind of dreading this point. There's no going back after I do this, and there's literally nothing wrong with the quarters the way they are. But progress requires sacrifice. Let's go. Alright, so this video is probably going to come out a little later than I had hoped it would because I've just got off vacation, went back to work, and ended up having a lot more stuff to do than I expected to, plus the heat and everything else. But anyway, in the meantime, this has all been coated with some weld-through primer to protect it in the meantime while I was too busy to work on it. And at one point in time, I eventually made these because I got to the point where the over fender can go onto the car. Right there. So everything's fitted up pretty good now. But whenever I got it on, I realized like there's a pretty massive gap under here, and all it does is just go up to the fenders. And I figured probably not a big deal, right? But then I realized that there's not a whole lot of space between the actual frame of the car and this portion right here. I didn't like that because I am going to drive this car on the street, not just on track. And I mean, even on track, there's going to be rocks and dirt and stuff. Now, I don't want all of this filling up with dirt and other garbage while I'm driving around, right? Then I gotta take it off all the time in order to, you know, clean out from underneath it for no reason. So, what I did instead, so basically, I made these, which are basically just extensions to the inner fender. And now, once I get those, like, once I get this all welded on around this side, not all the way, you know, leave a little bit of gap, that'll fill in that extra section and cover up all the areas where rocks could potentially go through and get caught up back there. So I'm going to finish that real quick, and then we'll move on to painting everything.
Now you're low down trying to save face. You want good head and a tight waist, but you ain't down for no neck brace. You fly all the way to California just to tell me how much I want you, but I'm done cleansing my aura and you're dead weight. You're dead, dead weight. You're dead, dead with your dead. You're dead, dead with your dead. You're dead, dead with your dead, dead. When you're close enough to ignore it, you won't break a sweat or work for it. You want access, you're like a hot mess, and it's such a sin to be boring. But you're on my wait list now. I throw my weight around. You're on my wait list now.
This thing is completely sealed up, and I won't have any issues down the road, hopefully, with any rocks and stuff getting stuck inside my over fenders. Now all I gotta do is get it ready for paint.
The words get me heavy, but they're not close enough.
before I'm ready to spray primer and everything, the last step I wanted to do with the front end was to actually mount it all up in the car, get it where it's going to sit, you know, once it's finished and installed. And I just wanted to feather out these gaps a little bit real quick, because before I did this, you can tell I've already, you know, sanded it down quite a bit past the gel coat, whatever that is. But now the fit is a lot better than it used to be, so the lines will flow a lot better once it's actually, you know, painted and finished. The other side turned out a lot better, one reason or another. Yeah, just doing little details like that. It's what's going to make the big difference later on once it's actually finished. So it takes a lot of extra time, but it's worth it in the end. Also, I finally finished the trunk. Get this out of the way. A little more than the trunk actually, but whatever. So basically I had the rear windshield wiper, like motor and everything, arm hole. I had all the old holes for the old spoiler I used to have on this. I had a 99 spec, you know, if you care to know. Filled in the sprayer nozzle for the rear window, because I'm completely just deleting all the rear window wiper stuff. And I also got the antenna hole deleted because it's a race car. I don't need a radio antenna. Also, that antenna weighs like, I swear it weighs like 2 pounds. I don't have it with me anymore, but yeah, it's a pretty heavy little thing. Anyway, yeah, all I gotta do is a little more prep work to the jams, specifically the trunk jam and the driver's side door jam. And all I gotta do is just clean this all up, finish primering. Already started on a little bit of it, you can see there. And we're getting pretty close to finished. Finished scuffing down every panel on this car, including door jams, trunk jam, everything, even the rear panel back there. Man, painting cars is like 99% sanding, I tell you. But anyway, it's all masked off now. I got paper on the doors, the window, the trunk, the windshield, and it's pretty much 100% ready to spray now. All I gotta do is just wipe it down with some wax and grease remover after I blow all the sand out, or blow all the paint dust off. Get it all out of here, and I'm good to prime it. Alright, so I got the whole car in primer now. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just scuffing down all the door jams, trunk jam, everything like that. Anything that's not going to be directly on the outside of the car is I'm scuffing that down first, and just using these red scuffing pads. Because I'm not really going for a show car finish on the door jams by any means. I mean, it's going to look alright, but it's not going to be like, you know, perfect. It's going to have some orange peel to it, that's all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paint all the jams. I'm not really going to paint into the actual like body of the car at all, just basically just up to here. And if there's a little bit of overspray, it's fine, because what I want to do is get the inside door jams and everything the right color and then clear coated. And then once I'm done with that, then I'm going to do the same thing for the inside of the doors, like the actual door themselves, right? Like the part that would fit up to right here. And then I'll put the doors in the body, I'll put the trunk in the body, and probably put the fenders in the body too. Just get everything, you know, installed, and then move on to sanding the outside of the car. and they make a nice like foam tape that'll go in between the gaps here to cover it up, so that I won't get too much like spraying on the inside after I finish the door jambs. That way I can spray the whole car all at once, and I won't have to worry at all about getting how do I put this? I won't have to worry about getting like mismatched panels because I don't get the color right somehow, right? Because with my CRX that I did a while back, like I ended up, it was partially because I painted it so far apart, because I painted the body and the doors and everything at one point in time, and it took me a while to get the hood and the bumpers, so you know, I painted those later, and you can kind of tell a difference. So I don't want to make that mistake with this car. I want this car to look perfect, or I could, you know, I could take it to a car show if I wanted to, and you wouldn't be able to pick out little things, little details here and there, like mismatched panels. So that's the plan going forward. Let me go ahead and knock that out, and I'll get back to you. One more thing is that I'm not 100% sure how the primer is going to hold up underneath these over fenders, because like I did paint it with epoxy primer to begin with before I put on the filler primer, but I know filler primer is porous whereas epoxy primer isn't, so I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen as far as like water, how the filler primer will hold up to water, even though it's on top of the epoxy primer. I don't think it's going to rust necessarily, but I also don't want it to get like underneath the actual paint. You know, if moisture were to get up in here and I only paint up here, I'm not sure if it'll get underneath it or not, and maybe cause paint to separate later. So just to be careful, I'm going to take off this over fender before I actually paint the whole car right, and while I'm painting the jams and everything, I'm going to paint underneath there too, kind of mask it off so there's not too much overspray, less to deal with later as far as sanding goes. But yeah, that way the whole underneath the fender area will be painted and clear coated, and it'll be basically the exact same as the outside of the car, so I won't need to worry about that. Alright, so the jams are all finished now. So the next step is going to be to finish up the outside. I know it looks pretty bad right now, but don't worry. What's going to happen next is I'm going to put the doors and trunk back in the car once I finish painting the inside of them. And that way I can sand down the entire exterior of the car with the body kit installed completely, and I can shoot it all at once, make sure it's all one nice, even, consistent color. But the issue I'm having with that is that I can't really paint the extra panels outside, and this doesn't roll. So I'm going to have to figure that out first, because I don't want to paint them outside. I want to make sure there's as little potential for dust in the paint as possible. So for now, I'm going to call this video over. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and go ahead and get this video out so you guys can get up to speed with what's going on with the car. But yeah, in the next video, I think it's going to be mostly focused on getting this car as a roller again, so I can roll it out in and out of here again. And in the next video, I will finish painting the car, so it'll be pretty much over from that point. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you next time.
In the first place, now you're low down trying to save face. You want good head in a tight waist, but you ain't down for no neck brace. You fly all the way to California.